Well, again, welcome everyone. It's Terry here, and it's Conscious Gatherers, and I'm joined by Bev and Royce. I know I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, or actually probably a month if I missed 2 in a row. Great family time I've had. I have a son and daughter-in-law and a grandson who live in Amsterdam, and I saw them, and a family, my daughter and her husband, and my 2 grandkids from California. I saw them, and my son from Denver and his wife. We're all there together, so it was a great time, and I appreciate you ladies for keeping up the fort and moving forward. So thank you both for what you've done the last couple of episodes.
Well, you're welcome, and it's always fun, and we had a lot to share, so many of you listening have already listened to it. If not, please do, because we share some experiences that we have gone through, and plus what comes to our hearts.
Yeah.
So we're sharing with you all to help awaken everybody. So, but welcome back, Terry. Good to hear your voice.
Thanks. So I think tonight we might be taking a turn. There's so much to talk about and bring about, and I've been holding a lot in for the last couple of episodes that I wasn't being able to share, and so we're going to bring up some of the things I've been thinking about. Just some points of information for everybody. Soon you'll be able to catch us on your favorite podcast platform. We are in the process of uploading our past episodes on a new platform that will be able to syndicate it through all the ones that you could find. And so that will be happening soon, and then every one that we have will be uploaded not only to our YouTube channel, but to the podcast platform. And when that's ready to go, we'll let everybody know where that is and how you can find us on that. So look forward to that. Ladies, do you have anything you want to as an introduction at all here?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we do have a lot to share, and I think where Terry's going, we'll find out. Some of the information, I did get some more information today that I'll share with you all. But Terry, I'm going to let you start because I know you have a lot to share and need to get it out, and we'll just add on.
Yeah. Oh, well, great. Thank you. So I've been getting a lot of what I think Bev would call downloads. I don't channel traditionally like Bev does or see things so much like Royce does, but my intuition talks to me. I listen to what comes to me, and I've been getting very clear messages about what's kind of going on. And so I'm going to start with the word distractions. I feel like, and what's been shown to me, is that when we come here, and it's a choice to come, we not only choose our avatar, who we want to be and what we're going to do, but we also attract and create all of the things that are going to be in our life and we are going to experience while we're here. And I'm going to call those distractions. And the reason I'm calling them distractions, because what it does, all of the activities that we're creating, imagine this being a virtual reality, as I believe it is, and a school that we've chosen to play in to learn who we really are. And the only way you really learn who you are is by having all these distractions come and polarize you into going one way or another and choosing sides and doing that. Those things are what are the distractions. And once you realize that and you center yourself, you can get rid of the distractions and go to the core of who you are. I know I talked with Bev several weeks back that I wanted, I was really kind of in a state of anger because I know so many people, so many of our major institutions have been and are continuing to lie to the general public. But again, that's just another distraction that I put there in front of me to polarize me to take a side. And I've chosen not to take a side. But I am choosing to share the information so that our listeners can go and research for themselves and see if what I'm saying is true or holds true for them. And it doesn't matter if someone, an organization is lying or what, and the purpose. It's a distraction for you to find out what your core is. Example, the number one institution is the big G. And they've been lying to us forever and ever and ever. And it has all to do with power. Because to them, who has power has control. Well, it's not true. You have the power within you, and you don't need their distractions and their lies to polarize you from one side to another. And that's all it is to get you out of your center, to know who you are, why you've come, and what you're going to do here. It's all a distraction that you've placed for you to learn the lessons. And the more we stay with the distractions, the more times we come back to try and learn the similar lessons that we've done. The second big institution that's constantly lying to us is the big M. They lie to us all the time. They're lying to us now. They've lied to us about cures. They've lied to us about diseases. Again, distractions, to pick a side, to polarize you, to get you to be, oh, yes, this, no, that, and to be separate. The whole thing, this whole virtual reality we're living in, is something that we've put in front of us to give us choices. Do we want to play in the game, or do we want to rule the game by knowing what's going on and not getting involved, more being the observer? And then the third big institution that has lied to us, again, it all has to do with power, is the big R. And again, I'm using letters because you all know who they are, and I just want to keep it so that you have to do a little research. You got to figure out what I'm talking about, but it's quite obvious. And I'll give you examples on all of them too. The big G, been lying about UFOs for years, for ages. You know, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. They don't think that we can handle things, and they're trying to subvert what we're doing. The big M, they've been lying about cures forever. I happen to know of a basic cure that's very simple and affordable on most, if not all, diseases. It's worked effectively for 20 years that I've used in my family and other people for other things that have come about. And then the third big lie, the big institution, is the R. You know, and that's all to manipulate and keep power and say you've got to go through them. It doesn't matter which one it is, they're all doing it. And it's not, I'm not saying the people particularly may be involved in each group. No, they have been duped, and they have been hogwashed, and they've been, you know, infiltrated to believe what they believe. But the people up above that are pulling the strings, and it's probably a small group of people with the money that's pulling all three of those strings at the same time. And it all has to do with power and money and all of that. And none of that matters, because you can have in your life whatever you want. You can manifest anything you want, from health to money to fame, if that's what you choose. And it's all here. And it's been taught to us, and there are people that have shown us how to do it from the time you were born and before you were born. Your parents, they've been there. The avatars have all been there. But you can't trust what society is telling you, because it's all a distraction to keep you away from finding out your own power and who you are and what you came to do. So it's time, and on this podcast, we're going to help point you in the direction that each of us three, think it's good to go in. And it could be three different directions, but they're all there to awaken you and ask some questions about yourself, okay? Like, who are you going to be? All right? And how are you going to contribute to society, to your family? How are you going to transform yourself? A big one. What am I afraid of? That's a big one, because that's the arrow that's pointing. That's the biggest thing. If you can figure, if you know what you're afraid of, but if you face it, you'll come out shining and be in the light, because fear is not real. Fear is what is I'll come up with an acronym in a minute. I know about it. I'll have to think about that.
False evidence appearing real.
There you go. Say it again, Bev, loud.
False evidence.
There you go.
Appearing real.
Correct. False evidence appearing real. And that's from your perspective. If you're fearful, someone has produced false evidence to you, or your ego's giving you false evidence that thinking is real, and it's not. As soon as you understand that and conquer that, that fear is gone, and you've just opened a window. Like a rainbow's come down upon you. It's really amazing. And then when you find out the fear, it's probably, what am I avoiding? And why am I avoiding that? Because that's where your strength is. Your ego's keeping that from you, because it knows as soon as you find out and don't avoid that, don't fear it, you're going to shine like nothing ever like before. So that's kind of where I'm headed with this podcast moving forward, and I know the two ladies with me are in line as they in their own way. So the whole thing that we've said from the beginning, this podcast is designed to wake you up. You don't have to agree with us. You don't have to believe what we believe, but we want you to wake up and go do some research and find out for yourself. And the other thing is take action. Go ahead and do something. Whatever that is, take action. Okay, ladies, I'm off the soap opera, and I'll give you guys a turn to respond and add in.
I think this is really so funny the way this is working out, because what I was planning on speaking about was just it's like we're very much going down the same road here. I was thinking about the deception thing too, but I was thinking about it going way back. Where did it first come onto this planet? And I do believe that eons ago there was life here, and it was very pure. And God was something that was realized inside and realized outside and everywhere. It wasn't a place you could look and not see evidence of that. And so by and by, here come these visitors from someplace out in outer space who have all of this wonderful technology and stuff, and are seen as something that is so much more, so advanced, and the life that was here was taken advantage of by those visitors who came. Maybe if they didn't have the intentions of coming across as a god, when the people were in awe of them, they took advantage of that situation and allowed themselves to be bowed down to. And right there, you have the beginning of religion instead of spirit, of this wonderfulness of one that is within all of us. So right there, you have fragmentation of what was truly one. And it has manifested itself in so many different ways ever since. And we have allowed ourselves to be hoodwinked by that type of behavior, falling out of the realization that God does live within, and it's not. We've kind of swallowed this belief that we have to go through somebody else in order to be able to talk to God, or we have to talk outside of ourselves to God, and that's not exactly.
It's even we have to even go further than that, Royce. We're afraid to say we're God, and I don't mean the big G. We didn't create. Well, let me remember now. In the Bible, it's literally translated incorrectly. It says in the image of, okay? And what it actually means in another Bible, the Holy Bible, or the ancient one that I have here, It's in the image of the likeness of God. And so we're the image. Everybody thinks of a physical thing, we look like God or He created us. But the likeness of God, what is God? God is eternal. God is non-physical. God is light, and God is love, and God is a creator. And if we're created in the likeness of God, we are creators, we are love, we are light, and we have the same attributes that God does. We create, we love, we shed light, and what we speak and what we feel and think manifests and comes into reality. That's what we are.
Yep, absolutely it is.
And it's time for us to wake up and realize that.
For so long, we've forgotten that.
We have. Because we've allowed institutions to tell us and define who we are and what our relationship to our Creator is. And it's very clear. Our relationship to the Creator is one. There's only one, and that one expanded into all of us, and therefore we are the one.
Correct.
Experiencing all of us and individualizing it and getting all these distractions in there to keep us from what we are. And the lesson is that's why you have the monks where they are, isolated, away from distraction and being centered, because where we are right now and what we've chosen to do is extremely challenging to keep centered, because every moment you're being bombarded by distractions and things that want to polarize you one way or another. And the whole factor is, once you awaken to that, you no longer have to do that. And once we all become centered and love and light, right?
That's right.
We individually, collectively will change everything.
Yep.
And when people say, why should I vote? What does my vote have to do? That thinking is what keeps us where we are. Because everything that you do, anybody that does, I'm not talking about voting, I'm using that as an example, but your thoughts, your feelings all matter. And I've said it different times, but the 100th monkey takes effect. Once we hit that critical mass of everybody in line and awake and not polarized, I want to be on this side, I want to be on that side. No, centered and love and light, the whole planet will change. And it's time for us to do that now, not wait any longer, each and every one of us.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
We have talked about speaking up and speaking out, and Terry, you said take action, and that's exactly what many of us are giving ourselves the opportunity to do that because of what I term a lot of the ridiculousness that is going on. And we talked about, okay, what's even true from what we hear through these institutions or the mainstream media. And you've used the word lied to. Yeah, I think we are definitely being lied to in so many ways that we have no idea. And so what do we do about it? As Terry said, we do our own research. But the biggest thing is, of course, go to your core, because your heart's not going to lie to you. And start taking action, at least speaking up, speaking your truth. Don't be afraid to speak your truth. And we're afraid of what's the right word? Offending someone, and it's because ours might be a little bit different than theirs. But you can say it very kindly if you decide you want to speak up. If not, you keep your mouth shut. If you don't want to get into that divisive type atmosphere. And usually you can tell if it's there because you can feel it. Mm-hmm. You can feel that energy of another one that may not be what you want to experience. And you find your body tightening up. You find your hands making a fist, which I'm doing right now as I'm saying this. So just you pay attention to even your body motions when things will hit you. When I say hit you, come in contact, words, actions from another, or news reports, whatever it may be. And right now, it's like, holy crap, look what's going on worldwide. And I still think a lot of it's a lot of BS, and it may not be as real as what we see on television. Yet we're seeing pictures, and the pictures may be from another time, another date. And, I've seen that from other people. So, they say it's happened now. Well, that picture is from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it may be. So it's like, wait a minute, why are you doing this? And it's to keep that narrative going and to keep that polarization going.
Yeah, because when you're in the polarization, you're not going within, you're not using your discernment. You're just absorbing what's going on around you, instead of being proactive.
Yep. It goes back to that active and proactive, or inactive, whatever word you want to use.
Instead of being reactive. Yeah, and sometimes when you're dealing with somebody else and their narrative is a good bit different than your own, and it just doesn't feel right to you, and you know that it's not right for you. Sometimes you just have to walk away from that conversation, because you can tell if someone is not going to be receiving of being receptive of being even in conversation about it. They're closed off, and you can usually tell that pretty quickly. So if that's the case, then go on to another subject, or go find yourself another friend.
Well, you know where they stand. Well, one thing that I'm going to get a little more specific, and I'll try to make sure that my words are not going to get censored here, but I'm going there. And the shackle. We talked about being in shackles, and my goodness, are we in shackles now? Or some are, and it's up to us to unlock those shackles, and again, to look into the heart. But one thing, right now it's with the mask and the things we get in the arm. I don't think we can even say that word because we'll get knocked off of YouTube. But anyway, and there's such a division there, and it's getting wider and wider, so to speak. At least that's what they're trying to do. I don't know if it's working. So. And I was told, if you don't want to play the game of suppression, then don't. And I feel a lot of that is suppression, personally. Some people feel freedom with the same criteria, while others don't. And they may feel more freedom as long as they get that thing in the arm. And why doesn't everybody do this? Because that keeps everybody safe. And then there's those of us that say, no way, what's in those things, what that can happen to the body. That's not necessarily going to interfere. And I know there's things that we can get rid of, some of those spiky things that go into the body. Just leave it at that. And so, but it's you can just see what's happening today. And, you can't go into a restaurant, you can't go to a ball game, you can't do this unless you have that thing in the arm. So it's like, well, if I do it this way, then it frees me up to do that. How come other people don't see this? And so they don't see the other person's view, or they think it's hogwash, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And so you realize that people are going down different paths to experience whatever they want to experience. Now, if they want to wake up from all of this, it's up to them, and that's why we're doing these podcasts, is to help people wake up. And exactly what you were talking about, Terry, at the beginning, these institutions, of the G and the R and the M and all of those things that have been going on, that I personally feel are going to be so changed because more people are understanding more about themselves. So I do feel that's going on. The 100th monkey effect, Terry, you mentioned again. I feel that is happening because more people, because to me it's getting so ridiculous out there. When I say out there in the world, that it's like, wait a minute, can you guys see what's going on? And people are saying, enough's enough. I'm not going to do this anymore. So it's that movie Network, and that was, what was broadcast how many years ago? 30 years ago, and you see it happening now. So it's just really interesting to see what's going on. And remember, we all volunteered to come into this lifetime at this time to change, help change the world. And if we came from the future, because we're, jumping timelines, working with other parts of ourselves, other aspects of ourselves, all of that. And that's a hard thing for people to understand, that we're more than just this one body. And we start seeing these things. And a lot of people have. I've seen a few of mine at other lifetimes, and things will come in, and they're so strong. Today, I saw these during, well, it wasn't even a meditation, but just three of us talking. These beings had, could see them through my third eye. They had a box, and the box was it's like a gift box that you would see. I know it, rectangular and, maybe 2 or 3 inches high, nothing huge. And it was glowing, and I thought, what do they have a box for? I'm watching this. And it's like the box wasn't really, I didn't open the box. And then a couple of things that we started talking about regarding the box is, don't keep everything boxed up, no matter how pretty the box is. So it's getting this stuff out. Then also, you can open the box, experience the light inside of it. So it was glowing. Mm-hmm. And so that box is you. Open that box out, which is you.
Yeah, you just might be surprised what is waiting.
There you go. So I thought it was a pretty good metaphor of what's going on today, just seeing that box and, seeing it in these beings' arms, And I felt that at least one of these beings was another aspect of another one of us here, and I won't go there right now, but it's just interesting to have these visions because it tells us so much. And if we dare to look, and maybe I shouldn't use the word dare, but people are afraid to look. And it's like, why are we afraid to look? I have to admit, there's things that I'm afraid of, and whatever reason, but eventually you get over it, and you just step in and step through, and it's it's over just like that, and you realize it's there for a reason for you to understand more of yourself. So anyway, Terry?
Yeah. Well, you brought up the jab and that whole thing. And there, I play around with the numerology and all that. And someone pointed out something to me that I thought was quite interesting. And so since you brought that up, I'm going to share it. All of us know about the Bible, whether we're religious or not. I'm spiritual. I don't follow any particular religion, but I've read the Bible. I've gone through it. I've been to different schools. And we all know about in the end times, in a time, there's going to be what they call the mark of the beast. And that mark of the beast was a number identified by a number 666. And anybody who knows anything, they're not about to get a mark on them that represents 666. I mean, would you? I mean, if it was you said in order to go to the store or go to work, you're going to have this mark of the beast on you. Would you do that? I'm asking, you ladies. I mean, knowingly, would you do that if you knew that was the mark of the beast? Absolutely not.
No.
There's no way anybody would do that. So my questioning is, and this is for you to research and to waken up, why is everybody so relevantly jumping to get this jab? Especially with the information I'm about to share with you. If you were to take the word corona, it's 6 letters, okay, in itself. So if you put those letters vertically and put a line, that they add up, there's a 6. And then, in numerology, you know that each letter in the alphabet corresponds to a number. Well, A is 1, and Z is 26, and every letter that follows alphabetically comes into the next number. Well, if you take the letters of the word corona, which we already know have 6 letters in it, C is a 3, O is a 15, R is 18, O is 15, N is 14, and A is 1. You add up those numbers in the word corona, and they add up to the number 66. So now we have the word corona with 6 letters, and their numbers adding up to 666. I just leave it there. I'm not going to say anything else about it. But why would no one in their right mind would willingly, if they knew that that could be, I'm not saying it is, but it's sure getting spread and people are doing it, and they would not do it if they had some information that might change their mind. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that. Are we going to go there? COVID stands for Certificate of Vaccination ID. 19 in gematria is AI, artificial intelligence. So, whatever you want to, however you feel about that. Some people are very adamant. They have to get it. They feel safer with it, blah, 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 and that's up to them. If those out there, because I have gotten, in fact, I had one yesterday, a young lady had written and had to take it to continue her studies, and was very upset, and was saying, let it not harm my body, blah, blah, blah. And so I was suggesting some things to do to move any harmful effects. So anybody with total focus can do this and take and use your power of your heart mind to wash, I'm going to say wash, if you can use the golden white light through your body and remove any harmful effects that is left there. And you may have to do it a few times, or if you feel something comes in that you're not comfortable with, and to just neutralize it. Don't wash it into the earth. It's not fair to the earth, but neutralize the what I term harmful. And there's various things in there that are harmful. So I feel it's harmful. So, but other people don't. So those listening may not agree. I understand. But again, Terry, you mentioned do your research, and there's a lot of people coming out and explaining a little bit more about the effectiveness of it and also the ineffectiveness of it. So it's each its own path, and I'm not going to say it's going to be harmful to everybody that's taking it, but there's other things that you can do if you do get sick with the virus. They call it a virus. I guess it has yet to be isolated, so it's not a virus. I don't know what you call it outside of a weapon or a bioweapon, but you can take various therapeutics, and a lot of them have been talked about, and you can find them on the internet too. And keep yourself healthy. Keep your immune system up. So, we are going there. So, anyway, go ahead.
No, but while you're there and you're researching and on that subject, definitely look up chloride dioxide, or chlorine dioxide is what you want to look up, sometimes called MMS. Do some research on that, and you might be surprised of what that is and what it can do. There is a lot of information on both sides. They are trying to polarize, and the only way you'll know is if you don't polarize yourself, stay centered, and let your heart, faith, finding answers in the heart, will tell you always what is right for you. Doesn't necessarily mean it's right for somebody else. But all the things that we brought up tonight are distractions to help you learn to stay in the center and not get polarized on either side of what we talked about tonight. Those are more distractions, and they're there to see if you can get through them. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you wake up. And if we don't challenge you, how are we going to wake up? So our job is to challenge, not make it easy, sometimes give you the hard truths, our hard truths, and you decide for yourself if it's true for you. And if you don't, it's perfectly fine. We don't judge anybody. We're not going to compare anybody, and we're not going to try and understand why someone has chosen what they have chosen to do. That's not our job. So with all that, I am complete tonight, ladies. I don't know about you. I think you are. We're over the 30-minute limit here. That's not a limit. We could go as long as we want, but we're keeping it to 30 minutes. So unless you have something else, ladies, I think we have it for the night. Our next session will be on, I guess, September 7th, the next month. So anything else, ladies, to wrap us up?
Well, just be aware of what's going on. I keep an interned eye, which is into the heart. So if you have any questions, ask yourself within, and you'll get the message. Pay attention, and love yourself through the whole thing. So if you did something, for instance, that you're not happy with, it's okay. It's all part of our journey here, and it's all part of the experiences that we wanted to experience. And that makes sense. But anyway, it's to understand why we're here. And and we are here, I feel. Are we here to change things around? And perhaps. And so it's this inner planes of our reality, our consciousness, changes what we perceive on the outer planes of our earthly experience. And the more of this existence coming into view, and this, what we're talking about tonight helps, to me, it helps push us to understand that internal world that is us, and who is all part of the big G, so to speak. So, but thank you all for joining us tonight, and it's a pleasure to share with you, even though we're going through some tough times. But we'll start looking at these as joyful times, maybe later once we get through this. It's like, what next going on? But anyway, thank you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to reiterate to everyone, if you haven't heard me say it before, how much I love you and how much I appreciate you sticking around on the planet at this time, because it is kind of tough to stay here right now, and I appreciate your presence here. It's worth more than you could ever believe. And I wanted to dedicate at least my part of tonight's conversation to the memory of a beloved canine friend who had to leave today. Her name was Marie, and I love her.
Yes. Yeah. Our canine friends and furry friends, the unconditional love that they give is amazing. And, we're talking about unconditional love here. So thank you.
Thank you both for being here and sharing. Tune in 2 weeks from tonight on the 7th of September, and we'll be here again. So for tonight, thank you all, and have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.